everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, let's continue on the second part of the Isekai Shoujo anime and manga. You could refer to the link above for the first part. So let us continue. Sola wa Akai Kawa no Hotori, Red River, or Anatolia Story. It is written by Shinohara Chie, whose style always contains the element of suspense. Red River was serialized in Shokugami from 1995 to 2002. In total, Red River consists of a total of 28 volumes, and in year 2000, Red River won the Shogakukan Manga Award for Shoujo. Personally speaking, I would strongly recommend this manga to you all, since this manga really worth it. Unlike Fushigiyugi, which is considered solely as a fantasy shoujo manga, Red River had made reference to the actual history and covered the theme of history, politics, diplomacy, and romance. Though it does not go in depth, it still adds spices to the storyline and makes the story of Red River more appealing to the readers. Red River is about a story of a 15-year-old girl named Suzuki Yuli, who was summoned by Queen Nakia and had been physically transported to Hattusa, the capital of the Hittite Empire in Anatolia. Queen Nakia aimed to use Yuli as a human sacrifice, so that she could place a curse on other prince and her son could become the sole heir to the throne. When Yuli was summoned to Hattusa, she was rescued by Khal Mursili, the third prince of the Hittite Empire. Khal was handsome and considered as a playboy. He owned the ability of a priest and able to control wind. He was also one of the people who was able to counter the spell of Queen Nakia. After Khal rescued Yuli, he promised her to help her getting back to Japan. However, when the story goes on, they had fell in love with each other. Yuli also grew stronger from an ordinary girl who needs the protection of various people to a living incarnation of the goddess of love and war, Ishtar. The story of Yuli and Khal had become the legend of the Hittite Empire. Just for your additional information, if you are interested in a story about history, diplomacy, and politics, Shinohara Chie, the writer of Red River, also comes up with a new story, Yume no Shizuku, Kino Torigako, Drops of Dreams, Birdcage of Gold. This manga is still on serialization. If you are interested, you may go to take a look at it. However, do not expect too much about the romantic part. Inuyasha. This is another isekai manga which is well known by many people. Inuyasha is written by Takahashi Rumiko. She was already a famous manga artist before Inuyasha was released. Her famous works before Inuyasha are Mason Ikoku, Urusei Yatsura, and Lama One Half. If you are interested, you may go to have a look at it. Inuyasha was serialized in Weekly Shonen Sunday from 1996 to 2008, with a total of 56 volumes. It was got animated in year 2000, with a total of 193 episodes and 4 movies. The story begins with the protagonist, Hikurashi Kagome. On her 15th birthday, she, together with Shikon Jewel, were dragged into a well and being transported to 500 years ago, the Japan's Sengoku period. In Sengoku, she had awakened Inuyasha, a half-dog demon and half-human. During a fight with the demon, Kagome accidentally shattered the Shikon Jewel into pieces and scattered across the Sengoku Japan. In order to collect the broken pieces of Shikon Jewel, Kagome and Inuyasha started their journey together, and throughout the journey, they had developed special feeling towards each other. However, due to the influence of Kikko, this paused the relationship between Kagome and Inuyasha for a long time. Since Inuyasha and Kikko had once fallen in love with each other and separated due to misunderstanding, and Kagome was believed to be Kikko's reincarnation, but Kagome and Kikko are in fact two different persons. This further complicated their relationships. Though Kagome and Inuyasha are considered as the female and male lead in the story, I believe that there is another couple whose popularity has surpassed them among the readers, and they are Sesshomaru and Lin. Sesshomaru is Inuyasha's elder brother, with a different mother. Unlike Inuyasha, Sesshomaru is a powerful whole demon. At the beginning, Inuyasha and Sesshomaru have a very poor relationship, and they both want to kill each other. However, in the latter part of the story, their relationship has improved a little from very poor to maybe poor. Sesshomaru had once been rescued by an orphan girl, Lin. However, later on, Lin was being killed, and finally, Sesshomaru used Tenseiya to resurrect Lin, and thereafter, Lin accompanied Sesshomaru in his journey. After meeting Lin, Sesshomaru's cold and indifferent personality also changed a little. In year 2020, the enemy of Yashahime Princess Half-Demon, the story about the daughters of Inuyasha and Kagome, and Sesshomaru and Lin have been released. If you are interested, you may go to take a look at it. However, if you just aim to watch the characters in Inuyasha, you may have to prepare that they just only appeared very shortly in this anime. Haru Kanaru Toki no Nakate. This is an Isekai reverse harem anime derived from an otome adventure game. This anime was produced to promote the game with the same name, Haru Kanaru Toki no Nakate. In fact, the story is very similar to Fushigiyugi. So if you are in favor of this kind of storyline, you could have a look at this anime. The differences between Fushigiyugi and this anime are the protagonist of this anime could have a love line with the villain character, and there could be an ending with each male character too. If the audience are really interested in the different endings, they will need to buy the game, and this achieved the goal of the production team. By watching the anime and manga, you could get two different endings. The manga started its serialization in magazine Lala, and later in Lala DX within year 2000 to 2010. In total, there are 17 volumes. It was got animated in year 2004 and contained 26 episodes in total. The story begins with a high school student, Motomiya Akane, who was summoned by the Oni leader named Akula, the villain in the story, and transported to the Heian period in Japan. Akane later was asked to become the priestess of the dragon god and defend their road Kyo from the Oni clan. Serving as the priestess of the dragon god, a group of 8 chosen men named Hachiyo, which means 8 leaves, will protect Akane. Haru Kanaru Toki no Nakate makes a great success. This leads to the continuation of the series. Until year 2020, it comes to the 7th series of the game, and the series also contained 2 OVAs, 1 movie, CD dramas, and DVDs. Okay, finally, we comes to Seizure no Mahou wa Bano desu, or the Saint's magic power is omnipotent. This is first originated as a Japanese light novel series written by Tachibana Yuka and illustrated by Yuri Yasuyuki. It was serialized online in a novel publishing website in year 2016, and currently it is still under serialization. The story is about an ordinary Japanese office lady, Takana Shisei, was summoned to the magic world of Salutania after arriving home very late one evening. Since at the same time a high school girl, Misono Ayla, was also summoned together with Sei. The prince of the kingdom of Salutania chose to recognize Ayla as a saint and ignore Sei. So in the beginning, Sei served as a researcher at the Medicinal Floral Research Institute, studying herbs and potions. However, later on, it was discovered that saints made potions are more effective than others. And later on, it was discovered that Saint should be the saint instead of Ayla. In the story, Saint also saved Albert Hawk, the commander of the Third Order of the Knights of the Kingdom of Salutania, and Albert has developed a romantic feeling towards Saint. Generally speaking, the entire atmosphere of this anime is rather relaxing. Based on the works which I have introduced so far, we could see that the trend of the Isekai anime and manga changed a bit. For example, in the early works, the protagonists who transported to another world usually have big and great missions and goals, and the setting and atmosphere of a story are rather serious. However, in recent years, the protagonists are mostly blessed by their plot armor, and the atmosphere of the stories are rather chill and relaxed. That's all for my sharing today. If you like my sharing, please kindly leave a comment and let me know. And if you don't mind, please also like my video and subscribe my channel. I will be seeing you next time. Bye.